Hello, and welcome back to the Heart Artistry podcast. Today, I have an interesting episode. This just dropped in this morning, and I want to talk about the the keys in sales that I swear by as a seven-figure business owner. So, meaning that this has really stuck with me throughout the years of building my business. It's been about 6.5 years now, that I still have to do these things today. I think that we have this misconception that when we get to a certain level in business, or we've been in business for X amount of years, right? 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years plus, that we just don't have to do certain things, or that things are just going to be easy. Or like, once I get to that point, then this will just be like on autopilot, right? And I really do think that's one of the biggest misconceptions that I thought when I was building my business was like, oh, surely when I hit 6 figures a year, surely when I hit multi-6 figures a year, surely when I've hit 7 figures total in my business, this will just like be the thing that happens, right? It'll just like happen on its own and I won't have to do anything about it. And that is so wrong. And I've definitely been very humbled by that over the years. And I just want to remind us all that as business owners, there is work that we're just going to have to continue doing. Because if you think about it in any other context, right? Like think about the world's most, like the fittest person, like they're absolutely ripped. They have, an incredible body, incredible physique. If they just stop working out and stop eating nutritious foods, like eventually, maybe not right away, eventually their body is going to shift and it's going to transform, and it's not going to be that, like all the years that they've spent, whether they're a bodybuilder or they're just someone that's really into their fitness, right? Like that body is going to change. And the same thing with like personal development, right? Like it's not like we just do all this work on ourselves in our 20s or in our 30s, but by the time we get to our 40s, like we don't have to do anything, right? We don't have to look at ourselves, and we don't have to be self-aware, and we don't have to take accountability. It's like, no, those are things that we're always going to be doing, right? They're things that we're always going to be keeping up and maintaining. There's this quote, oh my gosh, I can't remember. Was it Tony Robbins? No, I think it was someone else. That was like, you can't shower. So it's like personal development is like showering. It's recommended daily, right? Like you can't shower so well that you don't have to ever shower again. You can't clean your house so well that your house is just clean forever because you're living in this house, especially if you have kids. So there are things that are just maintenance. So I want to talk about these things that are continued maintenance, continued reps in your business that essentially power your business. Yes, there are ways in which this gets easier. Yes, there are things that just become a little bit more second nature. There are things you get to delegate. Like there are things that I don't have to do anymore because my team does it for me now, which is amazing. But also I spent many years doing this on my own in order to be able to get to that point, to be able to hand things off, right? So yes, things do get easier. However, these are the things that I still continue to navigate in my business all the time, even after building my business to over 7 figures of revenue. And these things are not beneath me. They are not things that I have just kind of cast away. And, even if I have done that, I am very quickly humbled because these are just things that we have to continually have a pulse on. And they're really important, right? It's like, you have to understand these things and what's working and what isn't working in order for your business to keep growing. Because yes, even though you do build a team and you're going to have people working for you, they're still not the visionary, right? They can be an incredible person on your team, an incredible asset to have. Like, I think that about my online business manager, but at the same time, I still am the visionary. I'm still the one creating the offers. I'm still the one delivering the offers. I'm still the one selling and answering every single one of my DMs. So in a coaching business specifically, it's not like you're building a team so big to where you're going to end up having employees all over the place and, brick and mortar businesses or buildings, or like you're not going to be, a CEO that's really detached from the business. You're still making these like very intimate business decisions because you're still speaking to your clients and having these conversations with them, right? So with that said, I'm going to go through a couple of things that I did in the beginning of my business that I still do today, and why I feel like they're important, and also where we can kind of just forget or kind of push this aside, or, kind of let this slide a little bit. So let's go into the first one. The first one is, where are you gripping on too tightly for a very specific outcome to happen? Whether it's like you want to make a certain amount of money by a specific date, or you really want to hit a milestone, or there's an achievement that is maybe like, sometimes we have these trending things that trend on social media. So it's like, okay, you see this thing is trending, a lot of people are hitting it, and you want to be able to hit that as well, right? Like a 10K month, a 20K month, the first 6-figure launch, a 7-figure launch, right? Filling up a group program, booking out your one-on-ones, things like that. So we see these things that we see are achievements or milestones. Where are we gripping, holding too tightly on a specific outcome that we've lost the plot a little bit, right? And I've definitely done this in business because you get excited. It feels like a game. And I actually do love gamifying things. I love gamifying sales. But it becomes this game where we're so fixated on creating this outcome that we forget why we're doing it or what we have to connect to in order to create it. Now, there's nothing wrong with gamifying things. There's nothing wrong with gamifying your sales and like having a lot of fun with it and just enjoying what you're doing and what you're creating, because I do think that the more fun you're having and the more exciting and incentivizing it feels, the more excited that you get. And I'm definitely one of those people, and I completely understand that. However, I do think sometimes we can get so hyperfixated that we are not even focusing on, creating the kind of content, creating the kind of offers, and really showing up in a way that is genuinely what we want. It's more so like, to get this thing, what do I have to do? Right? It's like, I want a 10K month. What do I have to do to get a 10K month? Versus like, oh my goodness, this offer dropped in. I love this offer. Okay, it's not selling right away. I'm going to just keep sticking with it. Okay, it's still not really quite selling. What do I need to tweak? What do I need to learn? Let me stick with it. Oh my gosh. Okay, now it's growing. Okay, now it did hit 5K. All right, okay, 10K is coming. Okay, 10K is here. Yay. Like there can be a way in which we do this that is, it feels like instant gratification, and it almost seems like the smarter option because we're just looking at what other people are doing, right? I did this a lot in the beginning of my business, so I can really speak to this. Is like, oh my gosh, someone just opened a membership and now they have like 1,000 people, and you know what? I'll open up a membership. Wait, it's not working for me though. Why is it not working? This person was opened their doors and there was 1,000 people and there's blah, 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 blah. So there is a way in which we can do this where we are looking at how other people are doing things, and we're looking at the success of other people, and we're looking at the milestones that other people have achieved, and then we're marking it based off of like, okay, well, that's what I should do. That's what I should do then. Oh, well, this person said that courses aren't. Okay, well, that's what I should do. So there's a way in hitting our goals that can feel very much like, how are other people doing it? I really want to get to 20K a month. I really want to get to 6 figures a year. What do I need to do in order to get that, right? That kind of energy. It's like you kind of put aside all alignment and all intuition, and you're just focusing logically and linearly on like, well, this person sold a course and they did one-on-one coaching, so I'm going to sell a course and do one-on-one coaching, and that's what's going to get me to six figures. And I find that when we do that, it's not that that doesn't work, right? It's a very logical way of running your business. And I think that we all, to a certain extent, we do it. We look around, we see what other people are doing, we see what's working. Not only that, we're investing in containers as well. So that was another thing that tripped me up for a while, was I would invest in these containers. It wasn't so much that I was looking at what other people were doing. I would invest in containers, and then I would go, and actually this is a very helpful thing, right? Is I'll join a mastermind, I'll join a course or a community, and I'll be like, wait, I love this. This is so good. I can create something like this, right? And so there is a bit of kind of trial and error and just checking with like, okay, do I love this for me? Is this actually something I want to run? Is this actually something that I feel aligned to, or is this just something that this coach, this mentor I invested in is making a lot of money, and I'm now inside this container and I like it. I feel like I can do it, and I probably can, and you probably can. But is that actually what is in alignment with the way that this business is growing? Is this actually like the product suite, the offers, the expansion of my business that I desire to run? And if it is not, right? And sometimes it really just takes a couple of inquisitive questions, or even just like trial and error and playing with it, right? And I'm a 3-line in human design, which is like, I bump into things, but things bump into me. I make mistakes, right? And I am here to learn from my mistakes, and I'm here to actually teach from it, which is my 5-line. I'm a 3-5 generator. So I've honored that a lot. I used to be someone that shamed myself a lot for my mistakes, and just like, oh, why did I do that? That was stupid. That was right in front of me. Oh, come on. Like that was a dumb mistake. Like, why did I do that? Like that seemed so obvious. Like, why didn't I see it before? Like, it was right in front of me. And I used to really get hard on myself because I don't really seem like it, but there are ways in which I can be a bit of a perfectionist in my business, because I care so much about what I'm doing and how my work is being received and how well my clients are doing. Like, there can be such a desire, in my business as a CEO to want to get things right, and to want to, really do it correctly, and be able to do it in the most transformative way possible, right? So I've really had to take the shaming out of it and really look at like, okay, what am I learning here? Because every time I don't get what I want, I am learning something. There is something I'm learning. There is something that I am being presented that is good, right? There is something that I'm being presented that's like, here you go. This is your exact thing that you're meant to learn. And this is it, right? This is good for you. And this is something you're going to take on to the next lesson. And so I've definitely had to be able to pull that apart, right? But I do find that when we are looking around, or we are making these decisions of like, instead of, okay, I want to hit a 10K month, and so let me keep that in my, okay, I want to create a 10K month, and I'm going to feel into how that's going to feel, right? So going at it from a more somatic lens versus a more logical lens. This is something I've really had to learn to do in my business, is instead of like, okay, I want to hit 10K, what can I do? What can I launch? What is the course that's going to get me there, right? Instead of that, I've really shifted it into more of like, okay, how would it feel for me to hit $10,000 this month? It would feel expansive and freeing, and it would feel satisfying and successful. And it would feel, I would feel joyful. I would feel pleasurable. It would be pleasurable for me. So based on those sensations of pleasure and joy and freedom, then what feels good? What can I do that would create those feelings? Because it's actually the feelings that creates the things that we want. In manifestation, that is one of the most powerful things, is your feeling state. So not what you do to create it. It's like, how can you feel it first and then create it, right? one of the things I had pinned when I was creating one of my first courses was you like it's already created. You just have to bring it to life. Essentially, you just have to, I don't remember the exact words I used, but it was along the lines of like you just have to listen. Like it's already created, you already know what it is, just listen and receive. So with that said, everything that you are about to create right now, in some world, it is already created. It is already done. It is already here. It is already available. Because you can dream it and desire it and see it and feel it means that there is something about it that is already existing on some plane. Maybe it's not in this dimension yet, but it is in a dimension that you can pull from and that you can access because you've been chosen by the spirit of that thing, the spirit of that idea, the spirit of that book, the spirit of that offer, the spirit of that service. Like whatever it is that you're creating, you've already been chosen to bring it to life. So your job is just to be able to stay connected to it, to be able to download and receive it, and to be able to, to birth it essentially. Like it really is a birthing process. So when you can do it from a place of like, I want to create $10,000, but it's not so much that I want $10,000 in my bank account. I mean, yes, we do want that. Don't get me wrong. No one's saying no to $10,000, but it's not so much that you even want the $10,000. It's always we want a feeling that the $10,000 gives us, right? So $10,000 would give you the feelings of freedom because you don't have to work a day job anymore. You can go on vacation. You can go and enjoy yourself. You can go and like be able to pick up your kids from school. If you made $10,000 every single month, it would do something for you. It would give you something. It would make you feel a certain way, right? Like you would feel these emotions in your body. That's like, I feel so satisfied. I feel so free. I feel like a free person. I feel like I have options. With $10,000, I can eat here or there. I have options. I have unlimited options and available resources and opportunities if I were making $10,000 a month, right? So that's something that you get to look at, which is beautiful because that's the sensation you're going to be feeling in your body, right? So that's the first thing is like, where are you gripping on too tightly to a specific outcome that you're willing to kind of do whatever it takes without actually consulting with your emotions and your somatics, because that's actually where you are going to receive the most downloads. Number 2, this is something that I swear by as a 7-figure business owner, and I still do this today, and it still humbles me to this day, is when you are creating a brand new offer, you really have to give it like over a year for it to really take its full form. And it doesn't even really matter how many years you've been in business. You still have to do this every single time you create a new offer. This was one that really got me. It was like, I would create something new and I had this almost sense of entitlement that was like, shouldn't people just buy because they know me? And like, I've been doing this for so long and you've been a part of my world for so long. And to a certain extent, there is truth to that, because when you have built a brand and a reputation, there are people that just trust you. They've been along for the ride. They've seen you since day one. They remember, when you first started and your first offers, and they've bought a lot of things from you and they've stayed connected. But then there's also people that are just finding you, right? And I think that as mentors, we sometimes forget that because we are very, like, each one of us are the main characters in our lives. So to a certain point, it's kind of like, what do you mean you don't know that about me? What do you mean you don't know that story? What do you mean you don't? I've talked about this offer a million times. What do you mean you've never heard of it? What do you mean? Right? Like, we can get kind of like, wait, what? Like, that's not, how do you not know that? I talk about that all the time. How do you not know this about me? What do you mean you don't know everything about me? Right? Because we are the main characters in our own lives, but our clients, they're the main characters of their lives. So we're just a supporting character in everyone else's life other than our own. And we just have to keep that in mind. It's like, people don't know us as well as we know ourselves. And yes, there are going to be a group of people, like I have a group of people that no matter what I drop, there are certain people from that group, they'll buy it because they know me and they're loyal to buying from me. They're a part of my world. They've been in my mastermind for years and years. They have, they've stuck around. Like, they know who I am. Even if they take a break, they come back. Like, these are people that know my work very intimately, and I love these people. However, they don't take up the entirety of my audience, right? They're just a percentage of my audience. And so the rest of my audience still needs to get to know me. Like, the rest of my audience still needs to understand what I'm doing and who I am and my vision and my mission and what I'm here to create. And so when we're speaking and when we're creating, we always have to keep that in consideration. We have to take that into consideration, right? So that when you're creating a new offer, and you're not necessarily getting the results that you want right away, it doesn't mean that something's gone wrong. It just means that, like, you have to figure out what is not landing with your people, whether it's messaging or the way that you're selling it, or maybe it's like something about the branding and the positioning of it. Typically it is the messaging for the most part, right? Messaging and content, the way that you're talking about it. But or it could be like, it could be a couple things, but I find that that's typically what it is. But you are the one who has to, like, figure out what that looks like, right? And just because you've been around the block and you've been in business for X amount of years, there just can't be any entitlement, right? And I didn't come from this entitlement from, like, a malicious place of like, well, you guys should just buy from me. It was more like, oh, well, shouldn't people already know this? Shouldn't I not have to over explain this because I've talked about it so much, right? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, there are some people that get it, and no, there are some people that aren't just going to buy right off the bat because they need to be sold to, because they're new, because they've taken a break, because they have their own lives. So those are the things that we just have to keep in mind, is that, like, when we're creating a new offer, and even if we're selling an existing offer that we've already been selling for quite some time, right? It's still important for us to be able to recognize that not everybody is gonna fall within one category. There's multiple categories. There's the category of the people that will buy anything from you. There's the category of the people who are kind of warm and they're ready to jump in. And then there's the category of people that are, like, really cold and they don't know who you are and they just found you, and you can't expect them to be like the category 1 people because they're in category 3. They just found you. They don't know who you are. They're literally just finding you. So we have to be able to alternate our content and create repetition and really be able to keep this in mind, especially when we're creating a new offer, as we're continuing to sell, right? And I do understand that sometimes it can get repetitive. You're sharing the same story. You're talking about the same things. But that's why we get to bring in different angles of messaging and selling and connecting to our work and being able to connect to our people, right? Because I always say this, it doesn't take a long time to build like, know, and trust, but you do have to be the kind of person that creates the kind of content and has the kind of power, personal power, magnetism that generates a level of like, I know you already, right? Like, if you're the kind of person that doesn't want it to take months to build like, know, and trust, then you have to be the person that, like, comes right off the bat. You're fully in your power. You are making the big, bold claims. You are claiming your place here. Like, you know who you are, right? Like, this is important for you to be able to really come at your content and your messaging with this, like, oomph, right? It has to have that level of, like, almost like a sassiness, like a boldness, like a powerful stance that you're coming from. So that's the second piece that I swear by as a 7-figure business owner. I still do this today, is when you're creating a new offer, even as you're selling existing offers and launching, like, we're never going to get to a point where we can just drop a link and, people are just going to buy no matter what. Of course, there are caveats. Like, you can create a mystery offer. You can create the reputation. There are people that do this. Absolutely. Like, I've bought mystery offers where I don't know any information and I'm just like purchasing a link. I'm just purchasing an offer and I have no idea what it's about. That happens, right? Like, that's there, that's available. And I've also sold mystery offers, and I've sold these things, and it makes me so grateful and so excited when people buy from me and it is a mystery and they don't know what it is, right? Like, that makes me really happy. It makes me really excited. And there are times where I drop links with very little information because it's just like a smaller offer or whatever it might be. But it is important to just keep in mind that, like, we are still here to sell, right? It's not like we're going to sell the first couple years of our business and then just stop selling. It's not like we're going to sell for, like the first 2 years and then everyone should know who we are by now. We're going to have to keep selling. We're going to have to keep growing. We're going to have to keep expanding who we are and what we're creating here, right? Like, that is just something that's never going to go away. So just keeping that in mind and just keeping that in the forefront of our brain is a really important piece of this. Okay, we're getting to the third thing. The third sales thing that I swear by as a 7-figure business owner that I still do to this day is, where are you still waiting for someone to buy from you or a program to sell out or something to happen in your business, a certain milestone, in order for you to believe that you are as good as you desire to be? And I can tell you, from building my business for over 6 years now, and having made over $1 million and worked with thousands of clients and students at this point, I've sold so many offers. My signature offers created over like multi-6 figures, right? I've sold out masterminds. Like, there have been hundreds of thousands of dollars created in a lot of my programs, right? And clients have gone on to create 6 figures and multi-6 figures and have $500,000 years, $30,000 months, $40,000 months, like quitting their day jobs, being able to stay home with their kids. Like, the amount of joy and fulfillment and it's such a beautiful thing. And at the same time, none of this is the reason why I believe I'm good at what I do. I already believed I was good at what I did, and that's why I created these things. Do you see the difference? It's not that these results happened and then I was like, oh, all right. Like, of course it adds to it. Of course it's like, I love this. I'm so grateful for this. I'm so happy, right, that this is what my business has created. But also, of course it is, because of my belief in myself and because of my personal power that I hold within my body. Like, I know who I am and I know what I'm capable of and I know what I'm here to create. I know the vision that's been placed on my heart and this purpose that's been placed on my heart. Like, I know the skills and the capabilities that I possess as a mentor, as a business mentor, right? Like, I know these things. I'm aware of these things. I can hold all of this within my body. But it's not because these things have happened to me that I believe it. I believed first, and then these things happened. right? I believed it first. So if you're still waiting for a certain milestone, a certain thing to happen, or someone to buy from you, someone to, tell you that you're doing good enough, to have enough testimonials, or to be booked out, or for your course to hit six figures, or for you to hit multi six figures in a year, and then you'll feel good, and then it's seven figures. Like, I've literally been in masterminds with people that are upset that it was $800,000 and not $1,000,000 a year. It never ends. I can't stress this enough that it just never ends. Like, it doesn't. I don't know how many ways to say it, right? You think that making a certain amount of money will make you feel a certain level of establishment, or a certain level of success, a certain level of status. And to be fair, it does bring those things in a certain way. But if you don't believe it in your body, I'll tell you right now that there's not enough money in the world that's going to make you feel that way. I'll tell you right now that there's not enough achievements that you can reach, and levels that you can hit, and enough clients that you can serve, and enough income that you make in a month, in a day, in a year, that's going to give that to you. It's just not. Because I've seen sad and empty multimillionaires. And there are billionaires that feel that way. So we know it's not the money. Do we think that the people making the most money, the billionaires in the world, do we think that they're the happiest people? Not necessarily, right? Money doesn't give you anything that you don't already have. So this is number 3, right? Like, when you're waiting for someone to buy from you, when you're waiting for money to come in, when you're waiting to hit a milestone, when you're waiting to, like, oh, if I can just get to $300,000 a year, if I can just get to 6 figures a year, if I can just get to, $10,000 months, then I will feel blank, blank, blank. Like, that is such a slippery slope, because then that will just be replaced by 20,000 and then 30,000. And then eventually you'll be hitting 6-figure months, and it still won't feel like it's enough. And that sounds crazy to say, especially if you're not hitting that. Like, I'm not hitting 6-figure months right now, but I know that it's not going to bring me anything that I don't already have. In fact, I've been working on calibrating to 6-figure months, because I know that it's going to take sensation first, emotion first. It's going to be how I feel in my body first, right? Rather than I'm going to wait for that thing to come to me, or I'm going to hope that thing, happens to me, and then I'll feel good. You have to be the one to go first. It's always you setting the precedent. It's always you deciding. It's always you, putting your energy first, and then the universe responding to that energy. So if your energy is like, all right, tell me if I'm good enough. Am I good enough? $10,000. Okay, if $10,000 comes in, then I'll feel good enough. And then $10,000 comes in. But it's contingent to you feeling good enough. So even if $10,000 does come in, sometimes the universe doesn't even give us that, because it's like, I don't even want to solidify that way of thinking for you. Like, that's not even the way of thinking I want you to believe. But let's just say $10,000 comes through. Then it's like, okay, then your worth and your confidence is contingent on $10,000. So let's just say you make $10,000 in April, but in June you make $5,000. And you stop feeling worthy. And you stop feeling successful. So it was never actually within you. Because if you believe that you're successful, you can make $10,000 and then make $5,000 and then make $8,000 and then make $7,000, all the while still feeling successful. And because you feel successful no matter what, and it's not contingent on the money, then the money actually wants to come in even faster and in even greater amounts. But because you're so fixated on $10,000, I'm only going to be worthy when $10,000 comes in, then it actually becomes more of a repellent than a magnet. Right? So you have to be the one to go first. You have to be the one to go first. All right, this is the last one. This is the last thing. Number 4. This is a piece of sales that I swear by, that I still do today, that I've had to do since the very first day I started my business, is you have to build your belief in your offer and in your work, right? But really, like, this is really about your offer. Just because you created this offer doesn't mean that you have great thoughts about it. Like, let's just be honest. There are going to be days where you're like, I don't know how I feel about this offer. Or like, there are going to be days where, and if you haven't felt this, you just haven't been in business long enough. I'll tell you right now. Yeah, you're going to have days where you're like, I want to close this offer down. Do I even want to sell this anymore? I don't know how I feel about this. Why would someone buy this? This isn't like, why am I selling this? And it's a spectrum, right? You're going to go through days where you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever created. I'm a fucking genius. I need to be awarded for how great this offer is. And sometimes it'll be like, you have really great feedback from clients back to back, and you're like, I'm a fucking queen. Look at who created this offer. This offer is the best thing that's ever existed in the coaching industry. I am a legend. This is going to go down in history. Like, everyone needs to be inside this offer. I love this offer. I can't believe I created it from my own brain. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. And then you might have a week where you have multiple refund requests or defaulted payments or some negative feedback, right? And again, if you haven't experienced this, it's just because you haven't been in business long enough. Or you're not going as hard as you can be. So you're going to get some negative feedback. I've gotten negative feedback, right, all throughout the years of being in business since the day I started. Or not even negative, but sometimes it's just like neutral, or it's just like constructive criticism or whatever it is. Like there's a spectrum to that as well. But you're going to get some of that. And then you're going to be, and sometimes it might happen. And sometimes a client might want to leave the program. Right. And sometimes that's all going to happen in the same week. And you're going to be like, oh my God, is this offer shit? Is this offer the worst thing to have ever existed on planet Earth? Why did I even create this? This sucks. I suck. Everything sucks. You're going to have those days. I've had those days. We've all had them. Right. And again, if you haven't had them, you're going to experience it at some point. And so this is just a part of business. It's just a part of business. Like, yes, we're here to be delusional, and yes, we're here to create art, but sometimes running a business, it's a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot on your nervous system. It's a lot mentally and emotionally. And sometimes you're going to be hit with like, bam, 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 negative feedback. This client wants to leave. This client can't make the payments anymore. This person is not responding, and they haven't made a payment since 2 weeks ago. Like, you're going to be hit with these things because you are a business, right? Like, regardless of your money mindset and regardless of whatever the fuck is happening. And yes, we can look at the shadows, and yes, we can look at, are you perpetuating this? And is this happening because of some shadowy, kinky thing that's happening behind the scenes? Like, absolutely. Right. And I recommend you to do that work, but that there are going to be times where this is just happening and you're learning a lesson right then and there, because it is business. At the end of the day, it is business. So there are going to be these things that happen. Are you going to be able to weather those storms? Are you going to still be able to come back the next week when you have a launch for that same offer that those clients tried to leave, and be able to sell the fuck out of it, and be able to get up on a webinar and scream it from the rooftops and be able to build that belief? I've had to do that many times. I've had to do that this year. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be able to do that. And that's not something that just like you get to a certain point in business and clients never leave, and clients never ask for refunds, and clients never, like, you can have super, super tight contracts, and there are still going to be people, especially the more people that you bring in, the more incredible feedback you're going to get. And then also the more people who are going to be like, I don't understand this. I don't know what this is. I don't get this. This was not a correct decision for me. And people will tell you that to your face. People will say things to you straight up. And the bigger you get, the more money you make, the more people you have in your offers, the more feedback you're going to receive. And you have to be able to hold that. This is a big lesson I've had to learn in the past 2 years, I would say, is having to be able to hold people just not liking me, people loving me and then turning. Clients saying oh my goodness, you're the mentor for me. You're the mentor that I'm going to work with for the rest of my life. And then the next week they don't feel that way anymore, right? The emotions of our clients can be fickle, and you still have to stay rooted in service and what you're creating. And that is one of the more challenging, difficult things about being a mentor. And at the end of the day, you're still the one launching and selling that program. So you better believe, even if all this shit is going down behind the scenes, you still have to build up your own belief to sell your offer, because a launch is coming up and it's already scheduled. And it's not like you're going to move that, because then you've got to move the entire schedule and your team is already prepped for that. So you have to buckle the fuck up, double down, lock in, and sell that offer. And in order to sell that offer, you have to build your belief up to 100%, 10 out of 10 beliefs about this offer. Yes, the offer that your clients just tried to leave. And sometimes that can feel like a huge mind fuck. So that is the piece of business. And this is just 4 things. I can give you a list of 100 that have brought me to my knees and that have got me crying on my couch, right? But that is the piece of business that, as I've grown my business over the years, it's it doesn't necessarily get easier. There are some things that get easier. And then there are some things that, as you grow, you just have to be able to grow your capacity to be able to hold it. And you have to be able to learn, okay, what are my standards? What are my boundaries? Where am I leaking power? Where am I leaking responsibility? Where am I leaking accountability? Where am I creating this? And how am I creating this? And yes, what part is it just business? And what part is it I always see everything as a mirror, right? So even if it is yes, it is business at the end of the day, it is still business. But also, what are we doing to create and perpetuate this? What are we doing to attract this, right? What are the shadows that it is connected to? What are the wounds that it is connected to? Because everything is a mirror and everything is being reflected from within us. So that is something that we get to work at again and again and again. And just because you create a new offer doesn't mean you have full belief in it. Just because you've been selling an offer for 5 years or 10 years doesn't mean you have belief in it. Just because you created the offer doesn't mean that you have full belief in it, right? There are going to be times where you are just I really need to work on my beliefs about this offer, because everything I'm thinking, and maybe based on things that have happened circumstantially, they are bringing up this level of frustration. They're bringing up a level of doubt. They're bringing up all of these thoughts that are, prohibiting you from being able to sell powerfully. So those are the things that we have to check. Those are the things that we have to look at. Those are the things that we have to, evaluate, because it makes a big difference. And we really need to be able to be on top of it, right? And that's something that's really important. So it never goes away, regardless of what the offer is, right? We're going to have our seasons with it. And it really is like a relationship, right? You love your partner, but sometimes you don't always like them. And sometimes you're not always getting along. And sometimes you're going through a season where it's just there's bickering and there's small things, or maybe there's big things and there's things that you have to work through, right? And that's the same thing in business. It's the same thing with your offers. It's there are going to be seasons where it just feels oh my gosh, everything's flowing and it's good and money's coming through and oh my gosh, it feels amazing. And then there are going to be seasons of business and seasons with your offers that are just oh my God, it almost feels like anything you try is not working. And through the 6 years in business, I've been through so many of those seasons, seasons where I'm oh my gosh, how is this real life? $50,000 a month, $70,000 a month, $90,000 a month. And then there are some seasons in business where it's just this feels like everything I'm trying is being flushed down the toilet, and everything feels like a slap in the face. we have to build resilience during those times to be able to keep going, right? Because the most successful entrepreneurs are not the ones that have made the least amount of mistakes. The most successful entrepreneurs are the ones that stick with it even when, like, I'm so glad I get to look back on seasons like that and be able to every single time be able to say, like, I stuck with it. I stuck with it. I stuck with it. I leaned into it. I did what I have to do. I'm not giving up. I'm not quitting. I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm going to find a way through this. If I feel this way, if I feel entitlement, if I feel like something needs to change, if I feel like there's something that's going wrong in my business, if I feel like results are not happening the way that I want them to, you better bet your ass I'm gonna get down to the bottom of it. I'm gonna be fucking Detective Sherlock Holmes, and I am going to make sure that I figure out exactly what's happening, because you know what? This is my business. My business at the end of the day. It's my business. I'm the CEO, me, Tiffany Chung. I am in charge of this, right? And that's how I want you to think about your businesses, even though there are things that might be hurting you and frustrating you and bringing you pain, bringing you to your knees, bringing you tears. Like, I've been through it all. I've, like, anything you could think of that's happened through business, I've probably dealt with it, or I will deal with it at some point, and so will you. So the job is not to make sure that business is running smoothly all the time. The job is to be in your power no matter what. And if you've been taken out of your power and you're leaking your power, which is going to happen, I've done it. We've all done it. It happens very consistently, actually more consistently than we realize. Then how can we come back to our power, and how can we come back to what we are here to create, and how can we come back to our visionary stance, right? Because this is what we're here to do. And you know, it's not always going to feel good. It's not always going to feel exciting. It's not always going to feel like we're in a smooth season. So if you're not in a smooth season, just reminding yourself that it's always a lesson. It's always here to bring you back to you. It's always here to bring you back to be the best version of yourself, the most successful version of yourself as a CEO, right? Everything is here to teach you that. All right. So for those of you that have listened until the very end, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening to these episodes. It means so much to me when you give me feedback, when you rate and leave a review. And it just really helps me to be able to reach more people. And for those of you that are wanting to be mentored by me, this is really the best time to join the chamber, because, and I haven't really even shared this outside of the podcast, but the price is going to be going up soon. And I just added a bunch of new things into the chamber. I've really kind of like reshifted the way that I'm running it. So in reality, it should be like double the price it is right now, which is crazy. It's $25.55. You get 2 one-on-one calls with me. By the way, one one-on-one call with me is already $2,500. But you get 2 of them included in this program. Private calls, just you and me on Zoom. You also get access to all of the group calls. All of the group calls. We're doing a group call this week. You get access to all the group calls. So that is 1 to 2 times a month. Okay. I'm also building out a curriculum. So the first video module for the chamber just is dropping this week, right? I just recorded it. So it's dropping this week, and it is on building your business as a world, as a movement, as someone who, my background is a fantasy fiction author, and I love to talk about world building and building your business as a movement and building it as an entire ecosystem. You're not just building one offer and then another offer and then another offer. You are learning to sell and be the leader of this world, right? Branding it, showing up, positioning yourself, like all of that has to do with the way that you see your business as an entire world, as a complete world. So that's what we're talking about in module 1. And then we're going into sales strategy and the strategy I've been using to build my business to $1 million. The chamber is really a sales program. It's a hybrid, group and one-on-one, right? You get 2 one-on-ones with me, and then you get tons of group calls throughout the 6 months together. I also drop trainings inside the Telegram portal, and we also have group Telegram coaching weeks every first week of the month. Okay, so the next one is coming up in August, I think 3rd to the 7th. So every first week of the month, you get group coaching with me to really nail down, like, what do you want to focus on this month? What do you want to create this month? Where are the kinks? Where are the challenges? What are the things that you need to talk through? Like, let's work through them and get coaching from me back and forth from Monday to Friday. So you get access to that as well. The chamber is really a beautiful space that is focused on sales, you making sales, because when you know how to make sales, when you know how to sell and sell really well, and have the intelligence, the sales intelligence, the emotional intelligence, the skills, the reps to sell, you will make sales no matter what. I call it turning on the faucet to sales. Like when you know how to turn on the faucet to sales and you understand how to sell and you understand what's not working and what is working for your individual unique offers, and you're getting individual feedback from me, you're getting those one-on-one calls with me, you're inside those group coaching calls getting coached by me. This is it. Like, this is it. This is where you grow. This is where you expand. This is where your sales blow up. When you know how to sell, you make sales, and sales are the oxygen of your business. I want you to become the most masterful salesperson in your business than you've ever seen, that you've ever been. This is how you are going to shift everything and shift the trajectory of your business. Like, you can end the year doubled what you thought you were going to end the year at, because you took the time to come in to the chamber and master your sales game. So that is the chamber. The price is going to be going up soon. I don't have an exact date to give you right now, but it will be going up very, very soon. And I want you to be able to jump in and be able to get all these updates before the price rises if you're listening to this. So DM me chamber. I will share more details with you. We can have a conversation about what it's going to look like inside the space. I'll share with you all the new updates, and the link is also in the show notes if you want to just read through it on your own. But if you want to chat about it, if you have any questions about it, I will tell you all about it, and I'll tell you what we can work on specifically. And if it's not a fit, it's not a fit. And you know, there's no pressure on my end. But if it is a fit and you're like, wait, yes, this is exactly what I want, and I feel like it's a fit on my end, I would love to invite you in. Right? So you can have that conversation with me in the DMs. My Instagram's tiffanychung.co. And you can just message me, hey, curious about the chamber. I'll send you details and you can look that over and make your decision. You can also click the link in the show notes, which takes you to the main chamber page, and you can just read through it as well. But I know some of you like to have a conversation. We can send some voice notes back and forth. All right. So I'd love to have you inside the chamber. This is really my signature place to learn sales. And after that, when you've ascended from the chamber, the perfect place to join after that would be the mastermind, Magic Mind. So those are my two key spaces right now where I get to serve you. And yeah, I'm so excited. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Oh, this was a good one. I really enjoyed making this one. So have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I will catch you in the next podcast episode, and sending you all the love and magic. Bye.